Good afternoon, guys. I am Himanshu Sharma from India. So my today takeaway topic is important of digital signature. Okay, let's take a first look on the agendas. Okay. The agendas are introductions, history of signature, what is a digital signature and why digital signature, and how the technology works, applications and conclusions. Let's begin the journey with the introduction. The authenticity of the many legal and financial and the other document is determined by the presence or absence of an authorized and handwritten signature. The recipient of the signed document can be verify the claim identity of the sender using the signature. Also, if the sender later refuse the content of the document, then the recipient can be use the signature prove the validity of the document. The various methods have been devised to solve this problem, but the use of digital signature is definitely the best solution amongst them. The digital signature is nothing but attachment to the any piece of electronic information which represent the content of the document and the identity of the originality of the document uniquely. Okay, let's talk about the signature and their histories. As you see, into 3000 BC, where the signature were made on the stones and the signature represent their identity by creating the words and the symbols according to their traditionals. And in between the 1000 and 1200 BC and the 1069 AD, the writing and language was important part of the both Greek and the Roman cultures. The Fibonacci alphabet can contain the 22 consonants and the 0 vowels, was adopted by the Greeks around the 1200 BC, and within the 600 year has evolved to the Latin alphabet we know today. Okay, in 13th century, we know the signature by wax seals, and the seal with the mark of the sender stamps. And now fast forward to the 1918s, and the technology was already rapidly changing in the role of signatures, the rises of the fax machine and the electronic signature. And by today, 2000s, the US President Clinton has signed into the law of e-sign act, validating the electronic contract and paying the way of the e-signature technology in the business around the world. The platform like the legal sign use a digital signature to the sign the contract and other documents. Okay, let's talk about the what is digital signature. Uh, Basically, the idea behind the digital signature is the same as the handwritten signature. Uh, you use it to authenticity the fact that can be promised something that you can't take back later. A digital signature does not involve the signing something with the pen and paper, then the sending it over the internet. But like the pen and paper, the like the pen and paper, it attaches the identity of the signer to the transaction. Having the digital signature is like using your driver's license to verify your identity. Digital signature are based on the mathematical algorithms. The required of the signature holder to have two keys. The first one is a verification key, and the second was is a signer key. Okay, now why the digital signature? As you see, the provide the authenticity and the integrity and the non-repeatability to the electronic document. To use the internet as the safe and the secure medium for the e-commerce and the e-government. That's require the signature holder to have the two keys. The first one is a private keys and second one is the public key. Now, what is the private key and the public key? As you see, the private key is used by the sender, means a signer. The private key is one which accessible only to the signer. It is used to generate the digital signature which is attached to the message. The public key is made available to all users who receiving the signer message. By using the public key, the receiver can verify the message which generated by the original one or fake one. Now, how the technology works? As you see, the signer send the data, and the data and the message convert to the hash key with the hash algorithm. With the hash key and the private key, the digital signed document were generated. Then it send it to the over the internet. A digital signature require the use of public key cryptography. If you are going to sign something digitally, you need to obtain the both and public key and the private key. The private key is something you keep entirely to yourself. uh, in sign your document using the private key, which is a really kind of a code then you give the person. You need to verify your signatures and something. Then the receiver use then the receiver uses the public key to verify the document. Okay, let's move ahead on the signature generations. The user digital signature can use this facility optionally. If he chooses to send the message without the signatures, then the message is directly to send to the other end. But if he wishes to digitalize a sign to the message, then he asked the for the private key by the digital signature generation systems. The secure hash algorithm is used in the signature generation process to obtain the considered version of the message called the message digest. The SHA is a such that in the generating the different message digest for each different message. In other words, the number of two messages have been same message digest. Once the signature is generated, it is attached to the original message, then message is sent to other end. Then the receiver can verify using this algorithm. A user can receive a message from the different senders, and some of them may be using the digital signature and some of may not. If a message is not digitalized and signed, then the user accept it without any verifications. But in case of the digital signed message, he can verify the message by help of public key. The received message is a feed of secure hash algorithm for the generations of the message digest. The SHA used by the receiver must be same as that used by the sender. So if the message contain the remain unaltered during the transport, then SHA will generate the same message digest. Let's see an example. uh, let's say Alice and Bob are friends, and the fake Alice are the scammer. Now the both Alice and the fake Alice send the message to the Bob, and the Alice send the message with the combination of a message hash and the Alice private key. And the in other hand, the fake Alice send the message without any identity. Now the receiver Bob can verify a message by using the alias of public key. He can know who is the real one and who is the fake one. So now we can identify who is the scammer and who is the real one by using of the digital signature. Okay. Now of some platform applications which provide the digital signature systems, their electronic mails and data storage and electronic fund transfer. Let's talk about the electronic mails. When we send an email to a mailbox, it is desired that the owner of the mailbox should get the email in the original form. In during the transport, the content change either the accidentally or due to instructively by the third party, then the receiving and should be able to recognize this change in this content. And also no person should be able to send email in the behalf of the another persons. Both these factors are taken care of by the digital signatures. Any changes in the email will affect the message digest generated by the as a secure hash algorithm. That's the digital signature will be marked as the unverified. So the recipient will be reject that message. Okay, let's talk about the data storage. In this one, more interesting application of a digital signature. Suppose a large amount of data is stored on the computer, or only the authorized person are allowed to make changes to the data. In such case, along with the data, a signature can also be stored as a attachment. This signature is generated from of data digest and the private key. So if any changes are made in the data by the some unauthorized person, then they will get easily recognized at the time of signature verification, and thus the copy of the data will be discarded. uh, i have uh, I have now come to the end of my presentation, the conclusions. As you see, a digital signature are difficult to understand. The digital signals, signature will be championed by the many players that the public distrust, and the including the National Security Agency and the law enforcement agency and the consuming marketing companies. Well, this is all I have for today. Thanks for giving me the valuable time and the attention. For now, if you have any question, then let me know. Thank you.